Hey, everybody, we're live. Hey, thank you for joining me last night with Mr. White talking about the NAACP. And it was a great conversation. And we got another great conversation with my buddy, Seneca Scott, here, who's kind enough to join me on short notice. Thank you very much. To talk
Thank
about,
you, Jenny.
as the title is, Renia Webb's Winter for Mayor. Was it a cry for help more than a civic cause? And Seneca. Uh, what do you think about it? Because my thought basically was, we've been around the block with Renia a bunch of times, and both have a great deal of love and respect for her. It's not personal, but the fact of the matter is that she, to me, has come off as a damaged individual, and basically, was it at the hands of Mayor Tao or her own ambitions of power, or some combination of both? Whatever the case, she started an exciting run for mayor. It looked like she really was on the right rails until slowly they came off. And there were presentations, and I believe Oakland side sort of used her after she was on my program. She accuses me of using her. I didn't. She graciously said, "Hey, I want to do this show with you," and did, and said a lot of things that I don't think anybody was prepared for. uh, you know, and it caused buzz. But okay, I get that she's really
People
damaged.
get real comfortable on Zenny's show. They tell the truth on here, and sometimes that lets people know a little bit more about them than they should. And I think
Hmm.
Renia was comfortable on here because she knows that you're a person of integrity and that
Okay.
you care about people. You're not looking to exploit anyone, and that you're going to give them a long form presentation, not an edited presentation where you're creating the narrative you want. And some people don't frankly know what to do with that amount of time and freedom because
Hmm.
they've been so used to being calculated. But I'll jump in and say this much.
Thank you for
I
that.
forget.
No, like I said, in all the years I've done this, no one has ever said that, and yet it's been true again and again and again. Thank you for that. That is a revelation. Thank you.
Well, that's the reason why we implored Leanna Powell to not talk to any other media but you. And we were very guarded with her story when she blew the whistle because we knew that when she was blowing the whistle, for those of you who don't know this, Renia Webb was the one who fired Leanna Powell.
That's right.
Renia Webb was very likely in that meeting where that racist note was being written about us because it was March and she was still employed. Oh, actually, no, she wasn't in that meeting because it was after Singh was hired and Renia was terminated by then. I'm sorry, had resigned by then. So I'm sorry, that makes absolutely no sense. Scratch that from the record since we're live.
Scratch
It is
that.
not possible Renia was in that meeting. But Renia was in many other meetings with Leigh Hansen and Brandon Harami and Shin Tile. And now we all know about the content of their character. We've seen it in action, but now we have, like Darren said in your program, it's right there in black and white.
Yep.
And Rania was a part of that the entire time until they had a personal dispute about Rania showing concern for Shing over alleged abuse by Andre, who's been alleged to be physically abusive towards her. And she said that she was trying to save her, and it caused a personal conflict between them. She didn't say she left because she had an issue with racism in the office. She didn't say she left because she thought that Shing Tao was a corrupt person. She actually continued to support her, even though she's been indicted and faces 95 years. And despite all of that, I forgave Rania because she's not in government anymore. I reserve my passion for justice for people who are actively involved in Oakland's destruction, who are passing budgets, who are passing laws. And now that she was removed from that and she showed a willingness to re engage with her community, she apologized for some of the things that she did. And she seemed to be making a good faith effort. Who am I to judge someone? And so for that, I forgave her, and I still have forgiven her. However, recent incidents like the text message that we'll bring up that I sent you, or not text message, next door conversation, she's off the rocker right now, and it seems like she's had a break, a mental break, and I'm very concerned about her. But it doesn't give her a pass for trying to assault Lauren Taylor supporters or spread lies or mistruths, and she's just jumping right in with what the progressives are doing, and I think it's rather disgusting. I wish that she would center herself and her own mental health. I'll say one more thing at the end of this rant before you jump in and take back over. And you should show Judge Bender's response because it was kind of funny. You don't come for it as a judge. But, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to say this in the most. I've never had Renia on my platform to interview her, although I've had many opportunities to. And I've also told others not to because I didn't want to, and I'm not saying that. Again, I appreciate the platform you gave her. I'm not contradicting what I said earlier, but to me, anyone who's like not you, who's just trying to give a voice to Black people, is Black media. For the most part, it's exploitive. They wanted to exploit the fact that she's a little crazy and she's saying crazy stuff to get clicks in media, and I knew that it would add to the mental pressure on her. And in every conversation we had, I would tell her, Renia, my preference is your mental health, and you should get that straight. And I would show concern and compassion for her. I went to her kickoff for mayor. It was extremely well attended. The fact that her kickoff for mayor spent a lot more than she raised for mayor is a little weird. You know, she had a pretty lavish kickoff, cost at least $15,000-$20,000. Not sure I ever saw that reported as an in-kind. But whatever, I don't really care.
That's a ton of money to spend for anything.
Bro, the food was bang in. When I tell you, it was at the what is that? It was at Town Fair at the Oakland Museum. And the food was delicious. We had the most wonderful time. It was a great spread. We ate as much as we wanted. Renia spoke passionately and elegantly, and I thought she was off to a pretty decent campaign.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and
I said so too from a distance. You know,
I don't know, man. I think that sometimes people who are going through mania or manic depression. I'm not saying I'm diagnosing her. I'm just giving a hypothesis. Like you ride these highs and lows, right? Like we've all been there who have a passion for the work. And so I do believe that Renia cares about Oakland and that she cares about her work. I just think she needs to take some time off and focus on her own mental health.
Yeah, because she's got 4 kids, right?
Unknown caller.
If I'm not mistaken, she's got, I think, 4
I'm not
kids.
sure how many children she has. I don't know. I don't know much about her personally.
Hey, let's go through this text message. I've got it up here. It's not a text, I'm sorry. It's a next door exchange. And I'm gonna back it a bit up so that it's more visible there.
Yeah. What is that? Nice try, Judge Brenda, who wants to bring Cole to Oakland. That's such a lie.
Yeah, that is. She's got nothing to do with that at all.
Not only that, when Renia worked with Sheng Tao, they had a fundraiser thrown by John Brooks and Cole and what is his name? I forgot his name. Greg McConnell.
Greg McConnell, yeah.
She went to a $10,000 person fundraiser in San Francisco at Phil Tagami's table, and she sat right next to Phil Tagami. And she received donations for
Renia
her mayoral campaign.
No,
not Renia. Sheng Tao did this. But Renia's the chief of staff.
Thank you.
Right? And so she consented to everything she did. And also, Sheng Tao took money from Jonathan Brooks, the coal guy. It's clear as night and day in her reporting for her mayoral finances.
Hey, I want to make one clarification.
Hold on, let me finish this though. If we have 3 data points, actual evidence that ties Sheng Tao to coal, they ignore all of that. They have 0 data points for Judge Brenda, except that these people put money into an IE for you, not even directly to you, something she had no control over. And tried to basically, it was all a smear job, and it was done by the worker agency, started by Cat Brooks, who serves as PR for this white racist progressive. Absolutely. The worker agency is an extremely racist organization. William Fitzgerald, you're a fucking piece of shit, and we're going to get you. All right? You racist over there, we're going to get you. We're going to get you out of the city. We're not doing racism and white supremacy in the city of Oakland, disguised in the progressivism. Anyway, so Renia should be ashamed of herself for parroting this stuff.
Just 2 real quick points. A, the worker agency was the first organization to finance Oakland side in 2020. B,
of course they fucking did.
Yeah. Note 2, the Oakland Bulk and Oversized Terminal is a bulk terminal, not a coal terminal. People keep calling it a coal terminal. The argument has been over the right to haul coal. That's true, but there was a plan to replace coal presented by the late John Seal, who's a client of mine. I begged to have Inside Terminal Solutions as a client.
Jenny, let's not go down a cold rabbit hole because we both know that the city of Oakland has been hijacked by the Sierra Club and No Call in Oakland.
No,
I will be sued by $1 billion. Anybody who watches my show, they know. But let's talk about this right now.
But hold it. But Seneca, what you don't know, and I'll just make this real quick, okay? The person who was the project manager of the Oakland Local Oversized Terminal, Pat Cash, was the guy who hired me to work for the city of Oakland in the first place. He requested a private meeting with me through my godparents, Libby's parents, all right, in 2019, saying that everything that I said was correct. The city was the one that came up with coal as a haul. So I'm saying that the number one authority on all this is me, not anybody else. I've lived with this program since 2007.
You are the authority, city.
Well, I am. Like it or not, that's the way it is.
I'm not questioning that. I would say that we both have a.
I'm off that. I just want to make that point.
No, I don't want to get off. The point is that Judge Bender had zero to do with any of this. It was completely made up propaganda because they were worried about her beating Ryan Richardson, who they needed to continue this grift, who they needed to continue the corruption. Ryan Richardson is a deeply corrupt figure, and we're going to get you too, Ryan Richardson. You heard it here on Zenny 62 Media, 11:14 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on April 8th. We're going to get your ass, Ryan Richardson. You are a criminal. You are breaking the law. You are using the city of Oakland's legal department for your own personal gain and for ideology. And I hope people share this with Ryan Richardson's office. Let them know. But scroll up. I want people to see what Judge Bender said because I was cracking up.
You got it.
I was cracking up.
Renia said we see.
Hold on. Lauren, we see all of you, which is why you're supporting him, huh?
Thank you.
Wiser and smarter. That's why you all lost your campaigns the last cycle and will lose again. Renia Webb, you're going to lose your campaign, and we didn't lose anything. We won the first historic recall with the most votes. With the most votes in any single election in Oakland's history. The most successful political endeavor in the history of Oakland was that recall by all identifiable metrics.
Yep.
So, yeah.
You want to take that one, Seneca?
That's for you. Even though you're crazy, Renia Webb, that's for you for that stupid fucking remark.
You want to take this one, Seneca? What Brenda said, or should I? I'll do it.
Oh no, say it. Read it out loud.
Yeah, no problem. This is Ms. Harbin Ford's response. Renia, please tell me when I have ever tried to bring coal to Oakland. You of all people know that is a lie. But I suppose I shouldn't expect the truth from someone who makes up wild tales about people standing above her bed and peeing on her head while she was sleeping, or who makes up stories about attorneys who have never done a divorce or any other family case law in their lives, having represented someone in a divorce involving one of your relatives. I won the biggest race on last November's ballot, which was the recall of Shangtao. I can't wait to see how well you do in your run for mayor.
And her run for mayor, Renia Webb is going to get less than 1% of the vote.
I pointed out to her in a private text that, because I was inviting her, we have a program tonight that I invited her to come on to, and she declined, respectfully asked about my mom and all that, which is great. But she basically is under the impression, I said, hey, look, if you look at Google Trends, Suze Robinson, Elena Swanee, and a number of candidates actually get more search results than her. And
between Barbara and Lauren.
Yeah. And
so who got more between Barbara and Lauren?
Barbara has consistently been ahead. There have been some blips. It's a good question, by the way, Seneca. There have been some blips that favor Lauren, but Barbara has been consistently ahead. However, a lot of that I attribute to people trying to find out more about her than Lauren. And then not only that, if you want to go even deeper into the results, among the question is, okay, Zenny, I can search for her and I'm in Bangladesh. What about the locals? Well, in terms of locals, in terms of the metro area, Lauren leads by a bunch.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very significant sign. I think that people are going to be shocked at this election. And I think that if Lauren does win, it won't be by a little. So I think that even Lauren loses by a little or wins by a lot.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I agree with you. I could see that happening.
And if he wins by a lot, it's a referendum on the progressive agenda. And that means that the unions can't buy elections anymore. It means that they can't virtue signal their way to elections anymore. They can't lie to people and refuse to debate. They can't take they want to talk about negative campaigning. Like I said before on my program, if you watch, Barbara Lee's telling lies about me on her website. You tell lies about me, I'll tell the truth about you. Here's the truth about Barbara Lee. She talks about she brought a lot of money back to Oakland and she brags about it, but she actually ranked 218th in the House in bringing money back to her district out of 435. That's the bottom half. Under her watch, we lost 3 professional sports teams. She also ranked number 1 in international travel, bankrolled by billionaires and corporations. Many of these corporations, including defense contractors, big tobacco, healthcare insurance companies, all things progressives say that they're not in alignment with. She also took tons of money from the Duong family and refused to return it. There are so many things. She underreported the value of her home by $1 million and refused to tell people that she had renters in it. That is a crime, punishable by jail time and a heavy fine. And she did so, I believe, that she wouldn't be called a landlord because, again, progressives demonize landlords. So the accusations are confessions. They're hypocrites. She didn't, and Barbara Lee, to me, upon examination of her record, is just another DC swamp creature. And just because she stood up against the war in Iraq, which is cool, she was safe to do that in her district. She wasn't facing any repercussions of losing her seat for that because her constituents supported it. So it wasn't as risky as people thought. It was a calculated move. Barbara Lee is a calculated politician who has enriched herself. She got nearly $70 million in no-bid contract while she was an elected official. All I see is a grifter. All I see is someone who made a lot of money off pain and suffering the Black community while not doing anything to actually help Oakland's Black community here at home, but wants to get credit for it from her white counterparts. It is deeply disgusting. I am very, very disgusted at Oakland's movement, and I think that Black people deserve a lot better than those type of so-called representatives, and not a single person has dared to have an actual debate with me on these facts that I have presented. They want ad hominem attacks. They want straw man attacks. They want to try to smear me. I'm not running for mayor, but they will not ever answer the question, did I tell a single lie just now? Did I tell a single lie just now? 218th out of 435. You are failing. That's below 50%. You are on the bottom half of the House of Representatives and bringing money back to your district. 3 professional sports teams were lost when you were supposedly representing us. So many jobs have left this city, and you're talking about you did what? What legacy? What record? You've done squat for Oakland, Barbara Lee. You should shame yourself at your advanced age with trying to run.
I just want to present the other side of the picture, just out of fairness to her. One thing Barbara Lee did do was, and this is on the blog report with Zenny 62, you can see it. She brought the American Rescue Plan during the pandemic to Oakland. Adrian Henderson, who had a wonderful restaurant, you know Adrian. I think, do you know Adrian?
What's the restaurant?
Adrian's a great brother, man. I've known him for a long time, going back to the Hoop U days.
What's the name of the restaurant? Shout them out so people can go eat there.
It's the name just flew out of my head, but it's on the corner of Grand Avenue and San Pablo Jamaican restaurant. That I hope is still open. I haven't talked to him in a few years.
Mentos?
Yeah, it's right there, just right next to the Stork Club, going up that way, on the same side of the street. Awesome food. I've got a video around here of it somewhere.
Are you talking about Kingston 11?
Yes, thank you. Kingston 11. Yeah. Adrian was right there in it. And the only thing about it, though, Seneca and others, is that
they closed, by the way.
Yeah, I'm afraid we were going to say that because even though she got PPP loans to Adrian and other businesses in Oakland and featured them, when the PPP loans turned and people were beginning to be investigated for fraud, and they weren't doing fraud, and a lot of businesses that look like us, or like in my case with Zenny 62 Media, it turned out someone complained because we own more than one URL. So I called Jim Atchison, the attorney in Texas, about it. He goes, Zenny, I know it's stupid. Don't worry, we're going to get rid of it. Thank you, Jim. My point is, though, that Barbara was nowhere to be seen. We needed help in dealing with these problems. And I know because I called and emailed. I got no response whatsoever. And these are the kind of activities that our great congresswoman, has to really deal with, and hasn't. And in my case, we were sitting together watching Game 5 of the NBA Finals in 2019. Give me her number, but I called her, but she never called back. And it's kind of like, the one thing I don't like about how we are progressing in this society is how it's like each one of us has to be on a level above the other person, right? And the reality is we're all valuable. And as we've talked about before, and you said so very eloquently, AI is going to take us out if we don't join together. And I mean, when I say join together, I don't care who you marry, all that stuff. But just like any other organization, any other ethnicity recognizes, hey, look, here's who I am and where I am. Wear that and be proud of it instead of putting people down who look like you. Because Renia does some of that,
Oh, it's I always say this is a corny statement, but it's true, and it's about as simple as you can put it. Hurt people, hurt people.
Thank you.
That's Renia. That's Brandon Harami. That's all of us when we project it onto other people, our fears and insecurities. Everyone's done. No one's perfect. Some people do it to a fault and have made it an obsession, like the people I named. But that should give you some grace and pray for them. As tough as I am, and I am a tough fighter, I always try to remember two things. One is vengeance is God's, not mine. And two is you need to love thy enemies. And so even though I'll bring you all the smoke and I'll end your career and I'll laugh about it while I do it, I'm still praying for you.
Oh, by the way, I gotta say this for the umpteenth time. Seneca Scott is not anti-LGBTQ. Got it?
if you think that, you're probably a white person or you're a person who has secret hate for Black people. You want me to be that. Why do you guys want me to be anti-gay so much? That's
actually weird. A lot of white people stick up for you. You don't have to say that, man. It's not. I see on next. They stick up for you. So it's not about that. It's about certain people like the Catherine Hahns of the world. Is that her last name? Hahn? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got to watch them. Well, I'm happy that people are sticking up for me and they're seeing through the crap. You know what? They may just go ahead and make me the mayor of Oakland. When it's election next year, maybe I'll just run since they want to get my name recognition so high.
Are you going to run? Are you?
No. You know what? If Lauren wins, absolutely not. What's the point?
So if Barbara wins?
Oh, yeah, I may run.
Aha. Wait. If Barbara wins, are you going to run or not?
If Barbara wins, I may run.
Big May or Little May?
No, I mean, if Barbara wins, if Barbara Lee wins, I'm definitely considering running for mayor. I've said this on my X channel, and if I do that, this won't be any campaign like what you've seen before. Number one, I will have the money and resources I need because I got connections. Number two, and people love me. Number two, I'm not campaigning in the hills. I am doing 100% of my campaigning in the flatlands.
Are you going to do the Cat Brooks strategy? That's what she did.
Well, I think that her strategy on paper may have been good, but in reality, she didn't actually execute it. Because
here's why I disagree with you. I told her this. I said, you are not campaigning because you think they don't like you. But I said, Kat, if you go in the hills, you'll find there are people who love you. You have to go wherever they are. Wherever they are. So I said,
you have to go wherever they are. But you know what? I donated to Cat Brooks, I believe. I think it was under $100. But I went to her kickoff on Telegraph at a store that at the time was being rented by Shani Turner for the Town Biz clothing store. And I used to buy a bunch of hoodies from them back when we were all friends. And I went there and I was pretty supportive of Cat Brooks' mayorship because I believe that she was fighting for the people. And maybe she was, but she definitely ain't now. She definitely sold out. Now she's a union buster. She's a grifter, and I can prove it on every account. And we ran Kitty up out of Oakland. Bye-bye, Kitty. But anyway, back to the main point. They want me to be these things, but I'm not. And because I understand how language works. So let me explain it to people who you don't know this. Free public relations for you out there in crisis management. If Zinni and I are talking and we see two people across the street, and you're getting blown up, and those two people across the street are arguing, and one person's like, you're a liar, you ruined me, everything's done, everything is wrong because of you, I hate you so much, you lied to me, you ruined my life. And the other person's like, I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Most people, 80% plus of people will leave that thinking that person's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't hear the I'm not. That subconsciously, we don't process the
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
We process the what you are. And so if that same scenario happened and the first person was like, you're a liar, and the second person says, I tell the truth, I'm an honest person, then we walk away saying, we need to know more. Those people are arguing and we don't know what's going on, but we need to know more because this person's saying you're lying and this person said, I'm honest. If this person says you're lying, this person says, I'm not lying, most people think you're lying. Why is that important? When Brandon says things like, Jason, you're fucking your ghosts, that's bestiality. People fuck ghosts. It's sick and twisted, but people do shit like that in the world. It's some demented shit, right? When you're accusing someone of bestiality, which is a perversion, Jason laughs because like, get the fuck out of here. That's stupid. That's so wildly and so dumb. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. That's funny. But when you call Brandon Harami a pedophile, all of a sudden, he's like, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. And he spends all his time saying I'm not a pedophile. I'll leave it to you to draw your own conclusion. But it seems to me like somebody don't protest too much.
It also seems like, a person.
Right. So hold on, let me finish my point. So what I'm saying is, and I know I'm dominating your show a little bit today, but I'm gonna soapbox on your platforms and I'm soapboxing.
That's fine.
I don't know if Brandon Harami is a pedophile or not, but I know that the way that he's handling it makes regular people believe that he is because he's so defensive. He doesn't say, I love children. He doesn't say, I protect children. Right?
I think
what I'm gonna say, and where did this come from? If you're a part of the minor attracted persons movement and you're for decriminalized relationships between minors and adults because they're gay, this is really happening. When you're saying support all of the LGBTQIA flags, and I mean all of them, inside of those flags, I see the minor attracted persons flag. I have a right to call you out. Are you protecting people who are attracted to minors who want to decriminalize that? And want to legitimize pederasty? Are you a pederast yourself? Right? What's going on here? Right? These are very serious questions.
I'll say I know a lot of people who are gay and lesbian. I've never heard anybody advocate for that sort of thing in my entire life, and I'm 62. So
it's crazy, but it's true. If you don't believe me, just look up minor attracted person, research the flag.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
So the point I'm making is
also a number. Hey, Seneca, something else too. A number of those folks happen also to be right wing.
What's that?
A number of those folks also happen to be right wing.
Oh, because they're projecting. How many of these? How come the Grindr app explodes at every Republican convention?
See, bing, yeah. I mean, there's some deep. I don't want to get too far on the wing. I don't want to get.
I'm not judging nobody, but just
well, no, but it is.
It is like you come out, you hate gay people, but you gay. Right. Like, come on.
Right. It is a problem.
I don't hate anyone. I think consenting adults should always do what they want. Everyone deserves to be loved. Love is love. You marry whoever the hell you want, but you stay away from the children.
Oh, and also for the record, folks, it has nothing to do with Renia. So don't go saying, "Hey, you talking about?"
Oh yeah, no. Well, I thought we were talking about. I thought we agreed to pray for Renia Webb. Pray for her.
Yes, pray for Renia. Absolutely.
And her mental health.
Because she's a genius.
I gave her the finger, and I can pray for her and give her the finger at the same time.
Right. But I do want to say one thing to Renia. Okay, Renia, stop burning the people who are there to admire what you do. Okay, because you do it a lot. You do it to me. You do it to a number of people, and you don't need to. All right, you need to come within yourself and let yourself be loved. I think that's a big problem. For some reason, there's something going on in there. You're not letting yourself be loved by people. All right. So let us love you. Let us, fawn all over you and enjoy it. But don't be threatened by it. I mean, whatever happened, I don't know, it's there. But you can't show it in the middle of a campaign where, if you think about it, you're trying to get people to love you, right? Because if they love you, they vote for you. Okay?
Well, I think Renia is an incredibly likable person.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
She finds herself again. She may just well have a career in politics or whatever she wants to do in life. She's smart and she's capable. I didn't know that. I know she's a mother. I didn't know she had multiple children. But she's a mother, and I'm sure she's trying her best, but you need to lay off. Don't come for Judge Brendan. You get your head bit off. Better learn from that.
She should absolutely. Hey, so how do you see this playing out? When I say this in terms of how do you see the election playing out, not just now, but in the future? Because okay, the people from Shang's organization have been sacked. Period. By the way, whatever happened to the public? I got to get Nicholas Hydorn on here. He's the head of the Oakland Public Ethics Commission, because they were supposed to have done an investigation, right? But I know they gave it to the FBI.
Result, are you talking about the result of Marlene Sachs' lawsuit?
In part, yes.
An actor and Alameda County Taxpayers Association lawsuit about.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to follow up. I do know that I have to say kudos to interim Mayor Kevin Jenkins. Since he has been in charge, we've seen a steady increase in the processing of public records requests, actually meeting the actual deadlines in several occasions of 10 days. And, I said this yesterday on my program, and I can't believe I was saying it because I've been very critical of Mayor Jenkins, but I would have been perfectly okay with him just staying into 2026.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having an election in 2026 and just kind of skipping a special election. But, it don't really matter.
You think he'll run?
I don't know. I do know that Mayor Jenkins or Kevin or whatever, he's an incredibly ambitious young man. I do think that he's definitely
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I think he's going to run for something bigger for sure. That's pretty much guaranteed. Whether it's mayor of Oakland or not, I have no way of knowing. Again, I think a lot changes between whether or not Barbara or Lauren win. Another thing is that Kevin Jenkins, this is not fair, by the way, but the way our charter is structured, if you're in the odd number or at large, you can run for mayor and never have to vacate your seat. But if you're in the even numbers and you want to run for mayor, you have to vacate your seat. And I don't think that that's fair, because it gives people like Kaplan, who took like 6 bites at the apple and lost every time, got to maintain her at-large seat, but Lauren ran and had to vacate his city council seat. There was no difference between them except the year they were elected. So I think we need to revisit that in the charter. But that being said, I don't think that Kevin will risk running in 2026 and vacating his seat. I think he needs to do 2 consecutive terms and then probably try to work with Nate Miley to pass the torch in the Board of Supervisors position, which is what the scuttlebutt is. Again, that's just rumors and hearsay, but it would be a pretty smart plan for him if he could execute it, but it would require him to not lose. And I think that he would pretty much be a lock for 2026. I can't see how he wouldn't get reelected rather easily, considering that he's done a decent job at the interim mayor. I do know there are a lot of people who are not happy. So what Kevin does, and again, this is not, I've never been elected to office and never had to navigate this part of a job. So it's easier said than done. Kevin will call you back. He's communicative. There's a famous quote by Thomas Jefferson: lack of communication leads to apathy, then a revolution.
Yep.
Kevin, at minimum, understands the importance of consistent communication in the leadership position. And so he's communicative. He will meet you to death, but the meeting's not to work. And so I'm waiting to see what budget comes out of his office.
They're hard at work on it now.
Yeah, I know they are. I know Deborah Edgerly's there. I know that they're working on it. I want to see what budget comes out of his office and what difference he does. Is there an imprint of Kevin? Is there a Kevin Jenkins thumbprint on it? Or is it a continuation of public sector labor unions and the progressive agenda and the groupthink? Right? And if it is, I'm not saying that that's a deficiency. He's an interim mayor. It's kind of hard for him to disrupt things in a short amount of time, more so than he already has. But I would say that if he does manage to put his own thumbprint on the budget and say, this is me, Kevin Jenkins, interim mayor's decision, and I'm going to stand by it, even though it may ruffle feathers on my natural allies, I think that would bode very well for his political future, and that people will look back on that as this is the type of courage of leadership and conviction that we're looking for as we bring in a new guard of elected officials in the Bay Area.
Well said. Before we go, quick question. Ranked choice voting, who fares better, Lauren or Barbara? Because it doesn't seem like either one of them has.
No, so here's how it works. If Barbara Lee is ahead, it's over in round one. Because of her name recognition and the fact that the combined field will get less than 10%, probably a lot less than 10%, right?
Right.
So that means Barbara and Lauren will get 45% each. And in round two, it'll be over. And so Lauren either needs to win in round one or be up at least 3 percentage points in round one, or it's over. If he's not
Yeah.
up like 3 percentage points, he's not going to be able to stand RCV. So Barbara Lee has the advantage in RCV. But not like a dominant one, because there's no other candidates who actually have any votes. This is very, very different than the 2022 election. If you remember, and I'm just kind of going offhand, but I got 3,000 votes. Barbara
Yep.
Hodge got 5,000 votes. At least
Ms. Ignacio got
7,000.
a
Ignacio got
ton of them.
10,000.
Yeah.
And then Chen got
Ignacio was my client.
33,000, and Lauren got 34,000. Right? So they got low. Lauren and Chen both got less than 1/3 of the vote. 2/3 of the votes were in the combined field. And so that's why it took so many rounds of RCV to sort out the winner. You're not going to see that this time. Ain't no other people in there with clout. Trevor had clout. Ignacio had clout. Seneca had clout. Elisa had clout. Right? And even Peter Liu had some crazy following him. You had a lot of people in that election who were able to get a good amount of votes. It's not going to happen this time. I don't see a single person getting more than 1% of the vote. That's not Barbara Lee or Lauren Taylor.
There you go. Hey, man, stick around in the background. Hey, everybody. We're back with more. It's a busy day on the vlog report with Zenny62. And Seneca, as always, brother, thank you for actually carving out time to be here on a short, very, very short notice. God bless you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Zenny.
This is the man. Follow his YouTube channel. Gotham
Oakland.
Oakland.
Follow my YouTube channel. Remember, you used to get on me all the time. Like, when are you going to start doing media? You guys have Zenny to thank. Zenny's the one who made me do media.
Yes,
he
sir.
bugged me, and he would always scold me and say, Seneca, go online and say it. Don't tell me. Make your own show.
Thank you. Yeah. And hey, folks, that's what we as people have to do. And then we do it. Then we, join up, talk. This is the way. This is the way we keep it going. And again, it's just a matter of, it's a matter of survival. I hate to put it that way, but I never thought I'd be saying this when I was a little younger, because you think, hey, everything is going to be, meritocracy and all this stuff, and you find out, wow, people are working behind your back. It's like, man.
That part.
The good news is that the society is still much better than it was. I want to make that emphasize point. All right.
I hope
Thank you, Seneca. Stick around in the background.
Optimism.
You got it. That ends the stream, folks. Seneca, stick around in the background. Thank you. That was awesome.